Our next inductee is Jamie Carroll, the 204th inductee into the Indiana High School Baseball Coaches Association. I'm Sweet Lou Jeff Lazatter, along with my tag team partner Steve Crawl. We're here at Keystone at the Crossing for the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. And Jamie, congratulations on your induction. 12-year Major League player, nice family, 17 years with your wife Kim and son Cole and daughter Mackenzie. You're a 1992 graduate of Castle High School and 96 graduate of Evansville, University of Evansville. That's pretty good so far. Some people would like to just take that, but boy, did you just kind of zoom up after that. How'd you get in the major leagues?
Oh. If I really could tell you, I could write a book and make a lot of money, right? Looking back, I just kept showing up, kept taking advantage of the opportunities, and grateful to have a bunch of good people around me that taught me certain things that I think stuck, and I understood who I was in the game. Not a big guy, not a guy that was going to hit a lot of homers. I understood my role on the team, and I tried to just really embrace that and make that a part of wherever I was going. And somehow, they kept me around until I was about 40 years old, and they finally kicked me out and told me to go home. So, extremely grateful and extremely grateful to have this honor.
Well, just listing the teams you had there, obviously, when they say it's a business, you found that out the hard way, right? I mean, you just kind of
absolutely.
And being a family man, how hard was that on the family hopping around like that?
Yeah, I got a lot of different uniforms, that's for sure. And now sitting in the position that I am in, and just finishing up my 7th year with the Pittsburgh Pirates is a totally another organization. I'm grateful that I have a lot of different uniforms. It's put me in front of a lot of different people and a lot of different organizations. At the time, I didn't want to go somewhere new every 2 years, and fortunately for us as a family, the kids were young. At the end of my career, the goal was to try to play as long as I possibly could to have them remember. But towards the end, especially adding the Kansas City Royals to it, I just gotten home from a 2-week road trip, and right when I arrived, I was told I was traded. And so that was really our biggest experience in season, being traded, and towards the end of the year where I had to leave the next morning, and my wife had to pack everything up with 2 twins that were 3-4 years old, and try to find a way to make it back home as I was flying to another team. So we made it through, and so we're enjoying those stories now and sharing it and trying to even help out families that are in the game. My wife does a really good job of communicating with other wives and fiancés, and so honestly, it couldn't all happen without her. So I'm grateful.
Just something that stands out here under the personal achievements. Collegiate All-American 1996, Castle High School, retired number 21. Then you went to Evansville. Did you know when you go to Evansville, you're supposed to ask for number 21 again? How'd you get 23?
I just went and I showed up and they gave me 23, and I thought it was pretty cool because it was Don Mattingly and Michael Jordan's number, so I took and thought, I must be somebody if I have 23.
Yeah, and one of the other inductees played for the Montreal Expos. How was that experience?
I tell you what, for a kid who was, I wasn't a kid, I was 28 years old when I finally made it to the big leagues, and and actually in talking about playing in front of crowds and in the different environment, in the bigger stadiums, honestly, that helped me. There wasn't big crowds there, and I was able to get up there my first few weeks and really settle in until we had to go to New York, where I was hit with, the New York fans and understanding that. So grateful of that experience and actually being in that organization who guys left all the time that allowed us to move up. But It definitely was different, and we were put in a rock and a hard place when we moved to DC. They announced that we were moving to DC on the last home game in Montreal, which was Fan Day, that we were out on the field signing autographs, taking pictures. Meanwhile, everybody just found out we really were moving. So we were in the fire of all the unhappy fans and having to say goodbye. But it was definitely an experience of going and playing in Puerto Rico for a couple years as part of home games in Montreal. At the time, not fun. Now, great part of the story, you know. And so, again, it just adds more life to the career that I had.
Do they have a plaque anywhere up in Montreal that's got Jamie Carroll on it that says scored the last run in Expos?
No, that follows me around for sure, and I'm grateful that I was on base to be able to do that, even though we lost that game. I am, you know, proud of the fact that the Expo people and that still have the fan base up there do reach out and let me know of events and stuff going on, and are trying to get me back. And usually at the time I've been working and haven't been able to, but so I think anytime you're doing anything, you're looking for searching as a person in life for validation of who you are and where you're at, and they made me feel that I was a part of a team and organization. So,
well, my last question, and we'll pass it on to Steve. Looking back, did you ever pinch yourself and say, "Wow, I'm a major leaguer. This is pretty cool"? Or
there's been
I'm
some,
lucky.
I was definitely very aware of what I was getting to do and how special it was. I think as I get away from playing now, and whether I'm watching games with my son, I look at those games and go, man, I can't believe I did that. I got to do that for, you know, just over 11 years, and I mean, it flew by. It was a job for me, and I worked really hard. My last few years, I had to tell myself I need to enjoy this because I know it's not going to last forever. And so I'm grateful that my wife brought that to me and to my attention, that I'm going to look back on my career and not see the joy or the appreciation of it. So I was able to soak that in, and then now just it amazes me that I got that opportunity, and so more things are coming back, and definitely getting more appreciative as I get away from it for sure.
Steve, you got
Jamie, your last position with the Pirates was defensive coordinator, so you roamed around and observed a defense and instructed. Is there anything that stands out about defensively during your career? Something you think of that didn't, I don't know if it was a big play or just
Sure.
what you did. You know, you played a lot of second base and
Yeah.
some short stuff, third base.
Yeah, I think what I took pride in being an infielder, that playing second, short, and third, I really took a lot of pride in being that person that hopefully on our team, since I could play all three positions, that we could take another pitcher or take another reliever or take another power guy off the bench, to where we didn't have to carry another infielder to play a specific position. And so that for me was a sense of pride in defense and being a part of a team and understanding
You were
my
giving
role.
that team some flexibility.
That was my goal, and I was hoping for that. But if you want to have a play that stands out, I was fortunate to play in a play-in game in Colorado against the San Diego Padres, and I went in. At the point in time of that year, I'd always go in like the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning as a defensive replacement for Garrett Atkins at third base. So if we were up, I definitely knew if I was in. So I'd pinch run and then go in and play in the game. And I always tried to get, like, you know, pitchers now get holds, pitchers now get saves. I was lobbying hard for like a defensive save, right? For us guys that were going in the game in the 7th, 8th inning. But in that game, I got in, I was in there for my defense, and the game was still tied. They had a runner on first, and an easy double play ball came to me, and I booted it. You know, in a tie game in extra innings, and, you know, I made an error, and there was still one out in the inning. So the next ground ball came to me, and I was able to step on third, throw it across, and get the double play, and so I use that as an example that we make mistakes, but you got to be ready for the next one. And I mean, I won't lie. When I stepped on third, I'm not sure I felt my arm throwing the ball to first with the nerves and knowing the situation I just put us in. But I'm grateful that we talk about how you fall back to the training that you have, and I'm grateful of the position I was putting myself in to be able to make that next play. So that one, I remember that like it just happened. I can still get the feeling of nervousness and then thrill and running off the field and hearing 65, 70,000 people in the stadium going crazy. And I got a sweet picture on my wall. Love it. And every time I look at it, I just get chills doing it now. So
You got to meet a lot of people in your life that you never would have met except for baseball. So I'm sure you probably talk about a few relationships in your talk this evening.
no question. That's a big part of this game. I think that we all enjoy, especially events like this. They give you opportunity to come back and see friends, see teammates, see enemies, see rivals. And I mean, I look back. I got to play for Frank Robinson, Joe Torre, Don Mattingly, Eric Wedge, Clint Hurdle. Guys like Jeff Leonard was a hitting coordinator. Jerry Royster was an infield coordinator. Perry Hill was an infield coordinator. I mean, all these guys that were just in professional ball that I look back. I mean, like, I'm the combination of all that. Like, I try to take something from each one of them. Had some great hitting coaches over time, and so yeah, those are what I like. Frank Robinson, when I was traded from the Nationals to the Rockies, he called me and told me I wasn't a part of this, and that was the first time that I realized, like, I mean, Frank Robinson was in my corner, and I'm grateful that this man that's been a part of baseball forever, and I got him as a support, and every time I went somewhere. Now, Frank stressed me out. He made me sweat every time I saw him because he's a very intense man. But as he started to work for MLB and I was playing in other stadiums, he would go and send the clubhouse guy up to get me to have me come out and just say hi. And so I'm like, Frank Robinson wants to talk to me again. And so I'm grateful of that and those kind of things that I've said grateful a lot tonight. I realized it. So I hope people understand that
There's a theme there.
This is a thrill for me.
Yeah. Well, getting into that, last question here. I've asked everybody else what did it feel like getting the call to say you were in the Hall of Fame. What's this mean to you? I mean, you've got an awful lot of accolades here. What's this mean?
This is, again, I think you go and you play and you do your job and you want to understand your worth and who you are. And I was thrilled. I mean, I'm just a kid from Newburgh, Indiana. I got to play. I understood I got to play, but I didn't know who I am in the game. I went about it as the best I could, as hard as I could. And I think for me, it's just a symbol of, like, I mean, I'm a little guy. And I'm not what you see in the game right now. And I think, I hope that I can show that there's possibilities and hope and growth for kids like my son to know that dreams do come true. And I mean, I just still don't even know if this is real, and I don't think it'll hit me until I get back home. But I get choked up when I start talking about things, and I know I'll probably bawl my eyes out up there tonight. But it means a lot, and because I love this game, and to be honored by your peers and to be a part of a special group is just icing on the cake.
Well, we appreciate your time. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Jamie.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
The 2004 Hall of Fame inductee,